Former Real Housewives of Atlanta star Kenya Moore is facing a possible eviction of her Kenya Moore hair salon. This comes after she missed a court-ordered rent payment.
Here we go now.
Welcome back to the Kempire channel, your number one source for pop culture news and music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. As always, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. Don't forget, the Kempire After Dark live show will be happening Friday, March 13th here in New York City. This will be one of our only, if not our only, live show of 2026. Get your tickets today. In-person tickets are available. Meet and greet tickets are available. But if you can't come to New York City, or if you are coming to the show and you just want to recall what you saw at the show for 1 week after, there is a live stream option. So no matter where you are in the world, you'll be able to be a part of our live show. Ticket information on the Kempire After Dark live show here in New York City, one night only, will be available in the description. So we haven't talked a lot about Kenya Moore's hair salon and the battle that she's been having between herself and the owner of the property. We've covered a few different stories, but we haven't been covering the month-to-month situation that's been going on. As you know, Kenya Moore had this hair spa that she tried to launch on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. They didn't show the premiere party on Atlanta until the second season, so they did another premiere party. What happened at that particular premiere party was part of the reason why Kenya Moore is not a part of Real Housewives of Atlanta or the NBC Universal family right now. As you know, Britt Eady, who's going through her own divorce, but also suing the network for a multitude of things in regards to her one and only season. Also another reason why Kenya Moore was not able to be a part of Ultimate Girls Trip.
This moment, no. And I think that's legal stuff. It has nothing to do with like whether they thought I was a legendary housewife or not. Obviously, you guys know the answer to that. So that's a whole different legal thing that I think the powers that be are weighing out right now. Okay.
But Kenya recently, about a month ago, was on YouTube Live and addressed some of what has been playing out in court.
Is there any truth about the Salon case? What truth? I mean, people are so obsessed with my salon. If you are so obsessed, book an appointment. Why are you so obsessed with the salon? It's my money. It's my case. You know, people open businesses, close businesses, have businesses, don't have businesses, successful businesses, not successful businesses. Like, let's just talk about the housewives, okay? Lisa Rinna had a clothing store. It's closed. Kyle Richards had a clothing store. It's closed. Like, people have businesses throughout the history of housewives, right? Some are successful, some are not. Just do your research. I don't want to be a hater. Do your research. Look at all the women that have businesses and that don't. Look at all the Fortune 500 companies that have businesses and they are closing their doors, okay? Whether or not I keep my salon, that's still being written. We're still in court. Last week, I was not present in court. It was my attorney. And as you know, I built out an entire salon. I'm just going to keep this quick because I said I wasn't going to talk about anything negative. And people try to, there's a really obsessed person that keeps having these, quote unquote eviction watches and stuff about my salon. So there was a hearing because when they would not pay me back my $80,000 for my tenant improvement allowance, I had a white box. I know a lot of you may not know what a white box is, but it literally is a brand new space that has never been touched. It literally has no plumbing, no electrical, no anything. It's a white box. I built out a white box. It cost me over $300,000 of my own money in cash, right? So that's 3 years ago that I did that build out. So that's 3 years ago. I reported that on my taxes.
I will say this. The fact that she invested $300,000 into this space. Honestly, when she announced that she was even opening this hair salon, I said, okay, that makes sense because she's in the hair care business. She's been in the hair care business. But to invest that amount of money and then do what you did in season 16, when you know you have so much invested into this business, it really just makes it even harder for me to just be like, Kenya, you really screwed this situation up for yourself over Britt Eady, who's not even on the show anymore. I really feel like she must have lost her mind in that moment because you have invested so much time and energy into building your legacy on this show, but also expanding your legacy in regards to the hair care brand. And look, it would have been a viable business with or without the show. Who knows? We will never know. Would it have been viable despite what she did on the show? We wouldn't know because of what she did. You invested $300,000 into this business and you did all of that for what? For that one moment to blow up your business. Because look, let's be honest. There's so many people, like she says, that start businesses on Real Housewives and they aren't successful, or they aren't successful anymore once the business is no longer on the show. Some might say, then is it really a viable business if it relies on reality television? Because reality television, for any of these reality TV personalities, unless you are an executive, it's not job security. Sidebar, Real Housewives of Atlanta season 17 trailers dropping today. So by the time you see this video, I probably will be posting a separate video to react to that. So stay tuned for that. But back to what I was saying here, even she probably would have had a fighting chance if she still was on Real Housewives of Atlanta. And she probably would have still been on Real Housewives of Atlanta despite the Britt Eady of, oh, we've gone back and forth on who was fault and it was Bravo who didn't do that. At the end of the day, if Kenya didn't do what she did, she would still be there. She would be able to at least promote this business. And yes, now she's changing her tune in regards to what she was talking about when it comes to this business. Now she's saying all these people have had successful businesses and then closed their doors and things like that. But we're not talking about the big elephant in the room. This business didn't even have a shot because of what you did on season 16. And that is actually, no matter if you are a fan of Kenya, not a fan of Kenya, anyone looking at this would be like, Kenya, you did this to yourself when it comes to your business not even having a fighting chance after you invested $300,000 into the business.
To me, it's a matter of principle. You need to pay me back the money. You can't, even if I leave, you need to pay me back the money. You cannot have a space that I improved to the tune of $300,000 that you can now rent to other people, including a whole separate level, and not expect to pay me back my tenant improvement allowance. So shame on you for even having to get this far into court where I would have to sue you for not paying me back. Okay, it has nothing to do whether you can pay the rent or not. I was not in court. So if they said I had to pay into the court before case, in case I was ruled against or not, we don't know. I don't have a court date yet. So that's really just the gist of it. I know it's a little bit confusing because it is a commercial lease. It's not like renting a house. You don't just rent a house and then, I think a lot of people are confused in thinking that it's somewhat like you got an apartment and then you started doing all of this stuff to your apartment and now you want your money back. No, it's a commercial lease. In my contract, I'm supposed to be paid back. It was $80,000 and they didn't pay me. Okay, so that is the issue.
So I just wanted to give you some context to what's been going on. Like I said, this has been going on for months. Literally, probably over a little bit over a year, this has been going on between Kenya and the owners of this particular property. So just to give you the context, well, since then, there was a court order. The court order was issued back in February 3rd, so just a few weeks ago, like 3 weeks ago. And she was supposed to pay $43,988.68 into this court registry so that they could make this sort of decision later on whether or not the owner would have to pay the improvement allowance that she's talking about. But she still had to make this payment by February 19th into the court registry. By February 19th, as I mentioned. Apparently, she did not do that. So there are a couple of things that are very important to know, because I know there will be a lot of information out in the street saying, oh, she's been evicted. But, well, no, she's facing eviction. What we don't know is if this has been signed off, if the writ of possession has been signed off by the judge, has the sheriff executed it, was payment later made, meaning okay, she may have missed it the 19th, but did she pay it on the 20th or 21st? We don't know anything. Or if there's an appeal or motion pending. So I have the filing right in front of me, and it says to the marshals or his lawful deputies, defendant tenant Moore Vision Media, Inc., that is Kenya Moore's corporation, has failed to make rent payments into the court's registry, as required by this court's February 3rd, 2026 order compelling payment of rent into the registry of the court. Now, therefore, you are hereby commanded to place plaintiff landlord Northland Chambly LLC, the DECO, at 52 blah, 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 and in full and quiet possession of the premises located at the location, and to remove defendant tenants Moore Vision Media Incorporated and all other occupants, their personal property, and any and all persons claiming through or under them from said premises. So, as you know, in us talking about this story here and there over the last year, Kenya has still been utilizing the space. Apparently, she has been taking appointments. I haven't seen any of that, but we definitely have seen Kenya use the space to record her YouTube show. Apparently, she's had other people utilize the space in recent weeks as well. So she has been utilizing the space, but she has not been paying anything to the owners of the property. But as I said before, according to a court order from February 3rd, she was supposed to make this payment of nearly $44,000 by February 19th. What happens next? We'll have to wait and see. We have to wait and see whether or not Kenya makes this payment, if there's any sort of appeal. We're going to continue to follow this story. So make sure if you're not subscribed that you subscribe. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. Don't forget the Kempire After Dark live show. We'll be talking about hot topics like this one and so much more on March 13th at the Green Room 42. There's also a live stream available for those that can't make it to New York City. Ticket information will be available in the description. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.
Here we go now.